Hey everyone, my name is Eric and today I'm going to be showing you a really easy way to make demi-glace. Now, demi-glace is a traditional French sauce that is used to dress many kinds of meat, especially beef, as it's made with a beef base. Now today I'm going to be showing you a version of demi-glace that is super quick, super easy. It's a little bit less flavorful, but you get most of the components there and you can make it in 10% of the time that it would take you to make a normal demi-glace. Let's get started. So a demi-glace has a few major flavor profiles that are worth pointing out. The first one is, of course, the beef stock. The beef stock is just roasted beef bones that have been cooked for a long time to draw out their flavor and draw all the nutrition. The second is vegetables, in particular your mirepoix. You have typically onions, celery, and carrots that are lightly sauteed before being cooked in the broth and reduced. Now, we need to get this flavor somehow through a relatively hacky method. The last one is the seasonings and herbs. Here I have the 4 primary herbs: parsley, thyme, bay leaves, and pepper. Now there's one additional flavoring component that is not quite about the taste, it's actually about the texture, and that is gelatin. So gelatin is typically extracted through the process of boiling beef bones for a long time. Since we don't have that, here I have a chicken stock. Now this chicken stock is also going to provide the base of the onions, celery, and carrots, the mirepoix from earlier. Your stock is going to be reduced by just over half in order to get your demi-glace. I have a quart measuring cup right here, and I'm going to pour out all of my stock. Now I'm going to top the rest of this up with water, and that'll give me about a quart of liquid. So I'm going to take this quart of liquid and gently pour it in here. And for the beef bouillon, I need about 1.5 tablespoons per quart of liquid. And as it's coming up to a simmer, we can make our bouquet garnis. So right now, I have some thyme, I have some parsley, bay leaf or 2, as well as some peppercorns. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and grind them. Typically you want them whole. Tie this together. And we're gonna take some kitchen twine, tie it up. Simply gonna gently lower this in, make sure it's fully submerged. Leave that in there. Typically, when you're making a demi-glace, you start out with an espagnole sauce, and you actually add additional stock into it and then continue to reduce it by around half. Now the espagnole sauce starts out with making a roux. Now we're not doing that today because we want this liquid to soak up all the flavors from the bouquet garni as quickly as possible. So we're gonna let this reduce for around half an hour. I'll see you guys then. So you can see a little bit of scum has reached the surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of filter that out. You can also just use a spoon to skim the top of the liquid. If you don't have chicken stock ready at home, you can also use store-bought stock, whether it's chicken stock, ideally a vegetable stock, to get those vegetable flavors in there, and simply bloom a little bit of gelatin in that stock before using it for cooking, and that'll add the necessary gelatin as well as vegetable mirepoix flavors into your final sauce. I'm going to turn off the heat and reserve the liquid in a separate container. So for the roux, what we're gonna want is around 2 tablespoons of either clarified butter, or if you don't have clarified butter, normal butter will do just fine. So I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons. This is about 2/3 of a tablespoon actually. So we'll add in 1, 2, 3. And for this much butter, we're gonna want about 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. So this is about 1/4. I'm gonna add that in. We're gonna cook this on a medium low just until all of that butter has been incorporated with the flour. Once they've started to come together, we can start pouring this liquid back in. You don't want to add the liquid too quickly because otherwise the flour can actually start clumping up. And at each step, you're going to want to wait until all of the clumps have pretty much disappeared before you continue adding in more liquid. At this point, we can just add the remaining liquid and fully stir it in. Now you can see the sauce is starting to look really nice and glossy, but it's not quite thick yet. So we're gonna continue reducing this until it's actually been reduced by half. All right, so it's been about half an hour, and as you can see, the demi-glace has thickened up a lot, and we're gonna strain that right out. We have a beautiful sauce. It's been reduced by just over a half. You can either use it by itself, just slather it on some steak, for example, that you've cooked up, or you can use this as a base for other sauces. Stay tuned for the next video, which is gonna be how to cook a steak. We're gonna be using this demi-glace as one of the core components in making our sauce. As usual, the recipe is going to be in the description, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.